Hey there, Pyromaniacs. The other day, I saw an ad that really stuck with me. Something about this ad just really wasn't sitting well with me, and I felt like I just needed to sit down and just talk about it. The ad in question was for Madrinas Coffee, which is apparently some sort of gamer-focused instant coffee brand, I guess. So it's kind of like G Fuel, but instead of energy drinks, it's cold brew. And this specific ad was for their Halo line of drinks. Blood Gulch Brownie Batter and Valhalla Vanilla Bourbon, which I will give it to them, those are some cute names, I do like those. But the ad itself just felt really out of touch. For one, minor nitpick, they're wearing the Halo 4 and 5 Mjolnir suits in the video, and those suits are pretty outdated by today's standards. 343 has kind of been trying to move away from that art style, so it's weird to see those suits kind of still in circulation in Halo's marketing. The second thing about this ad that seems innocuous, but it kind of starts to add up, is the fact that they refer to said armor as Halo suits. They say something along the lines of, "What are we doing wearing these Halo suits?
What are we doing inside these Halo suits?"
And obviously I don't expect them to do something super specific and say something like, "What are we doing wearing this Mjolnir Mark 6 Gen 2 powered assault armor?" But something along the lines of, why are we wearing Spartan armor? Why are we dressed like Master Chief? Something that feels a bit more in tune with the wider brand, rather than just saying Halo suits. It's like if you called a lightsaber a Star Wars sword, or a Pokeball a Pokemon ball. I don't know, it just rubbed me the wrong way and it just felt really unprofessional for an ad. But the most egregious thing about this ad is the fact that the whole thing is built off of a Red vs. Blue reference, which on its own isn't that offensive. Red vs. Blue is a very popular Halo Machinima series within the Halo fan base, so it's not that weird. There have been nods and references to the Red vs. Blue series within the Halo games themselves, so it's not that ridiculous to use a reference to Red vs. Blue in Halo's marketing. The thing that makes it annoying is the fact that they screwed up the reference, because the whole joke of the ad was that they were quoting the "Why Are We Here" monologue from the first episode. But they didn't really even quote the show. They just sort of paraphrased it, which honestly kind of ruins the joke and just accentuates this feeling of just carelessness throughout this ad. Now, in the grand scheme of things, this really isn't that big of a deal and really not even worth complaining about, because in a vacuum, this is just a bad commercial for instant coffee. The problem, and why I'm making this video to begin with, is because this single commercial is just a symptom of a much wider issue when it comes to Halo's marketing and more specifically merchandising. Compared to Halo's contemporaries, and by contemporaries I mean other popular competitive shooters like Call of Duty, Apex Legends, Battlefield, Halo has so much potential for merchandising because Halo is such an expansive universe with several characters and factions and deep lore spanning decades. And yet, despite this potential, despite this vast universe, we get stuff like a cookbook, which at least the Halo cookbook kind of gives itself some legitimacy and some reason to exist, because yeah, haha, it has the Moa burger, the big meme, but it does expand on the lore and give us an insight more into civilian life in the Halo universe, which you don't really get to see very often. But once again, that actually leads into a completely different problem that I have with the Halo universe that I'm not really gonna get into in this video, where everything has to be canon. Absolutely everything has to be canon. Even the cookbook has to fit into the canon somehow. Everything has to be canon except for the TV show. For some reason, the TV show just that one's fine. That one doesn't have to be canon. But I digress. I'm going off topic. Despite how expansive of a universe Halo is, a lot of the merch, the t-shirts, the coffee mugs, what have you, seem to exclusively focus on the UNSC and specifically Master Chief. And if it's not Master Chief, it's just the UNSC logo or some random multiplayer Spartan, or one of the multiplayer emblems that you can choose. There are so many different factions of the Halo universe, I cannot believe that they restrict themselves to only the UNSC. You have the Covenant, the Banished, the Flood, the Forerunners. You know how there are those backpacks that look like a Koopa shell from Mario? Why can't I buy a backpack that looks like a grunt methane tank? Or what about salt and pepper shakers that look like a spike grenade and a plasma grenade? And those are just more eccentric ideas. Why can't I just buy like a grunt-themed graphic tee with a goofy grunt-like witty remark on it? Or maybe just something more abstract, like a purple shirt with a cool Covenant-themed geometric design all over it. All you have to do to realize just how badly Halo's merch is handled is to take a look at the merch from another highly popular sci-fi shooter series that's been going even longer than Halo. I'm of course talking about Doom. Similar to Halo, Doom has dense lore, a vast universe, and some iconic character designs and iconography that people would want to buy merch for. You have shirts that, yeah, have the Doomslayer on it, but some of them have genuinely unique and interesting designs. There's one that looks like a tarot card. There's a thermos that looks like a stained glass window from a church, but it's all corrupted and demonic. You have plushies of some of the different demons, like the Cacodemon. There's a plushie of Daisy the Rabbit that you can rip the head off of and put on a pike, which is such a demented yet really funny deep cut for fans. They even have really weird niche stuff for hardcore fans, like metal replicas of the door keys from the classic games. And they're charging $90 for that. $90 for 3 chunks of colored metal. And that would sound like a total scam to a normal person, but I'm gonna be real, I kinda want it, because I like Doom, and I would love to have replicas of stuff from the games. Why don't we have high quality replicas of some of the weapons from the Halo games? Just a really high detail, high quality replica of the plasma pistol or the plasma carbine or the needler, or even a scale replica of 343 Guilty Spark or the Index or the Sentinels, just anything. Yeah, this kind of stuff would be niche and just for the most hardcore of fans, but those hardcore fans would definitely buy it. Doom is a series that is almost a decade older than Halo, and yet it still has a dedicated fan base that they're able to sell these weird novelty goods to. And if Doom is able to do this, then Halo definitely is. And I think it all just comes down to confidence in the brand. Halo's merchandise lacks confidence, while Doom's merchandise irradiates confidence. We're Doom. We're the godfather of first-person shooters, and you know it. Look at all of this recognizable imagery, look at all this iconography, and you just don't see that with Halo merch. There's actually another product that I'd like to bring up, as it kind of exemplifies this lack of confidence that Microsoft and 343 seem to have in Halo as a brand. And I'd like to preface by kind of setting a scene for you guys. It's come to my attention in recent years that there is a surprising amount of overlap between the Halo fandom and the fandom of the tabletop strategy game Warhammer 40k. And it kind of gets you thinking that a tabletop strategy game for Halo would probably be really successful, because just like how Warhammer 40k has different factions with the Space Marines and the Orcs and the Necrons and all that crap, Halo also has different factions with the UNSC, the Covenant, the Banished, the Prometheans, the Flood. It would be so easy to translate the Halo universe into a tabletop strategy game. And you can even see bits and pieces of this potential in Halo Wars, the spin-off strategy game series. Amassing these giant armies of crazy outlandish units to hit against another massive army of crazy outlandish units. And as it turns out, we do have a Halo tabletop strategy game. The problem is it's based on the multiplayer mode. So once again, it is UNSC-centric Spartan versus Spartan combat, yet again ignoring the wider potential of the Halo universe. It's just so weird because Halo is supposed to be the flagship franchise for Xbox. Master Chief, whether people like to admit it or not, is still Xbox's mascot. And yet, you compare Master Chief's merchandise to something like, I don't know, Mario, and it becomes pretty apparent that there's something wrong. Obviously, Halo as a franchise still isn't nearly on the scale as something like Mario, but I'd argue that even Star Fox, a criminally mistreated franchise from Nintendo, still gets better treatment in terms of merchandising than Halo does from Microsoft. And of course, I can't go a video without comparing Halo to Sonic. Sega has been going crazy when it comes to specifically action figures when it comes to Sonic recently. Practically every character you can possibly imagine from any of the Sonic games has a figure that you can just walk into Target and buy. Mighty the Armadillo, Charmy the Bee, Grounder. I know he's officially called Burrowbot, but let's be real, that's Grounder. And when it comes to Halo figures, what do we get? Spartans, ODSTs, Spartans, the occasional Grunt, the occasional Elite, Spartans, and more Spartans. I guess this whole video is just me saying that 343, please just move away from the UNSC. Move away from the Green Man. Halo is such a vast universe to be restricted to just Spartans. And I genuinely feel like this is a component for why Halo feels so stale as a franchise nowadays. Because the people in charge seem so hesitant to explore other elements of this universe. I'm gonna keep saying it because I genuinely believe it's true. Halo is a space epic, and I think it's time that they start treating it like that. Halo is a universe so much bigger than just Master Chief and the Spartans. And if you keep restricting people to just seeing that perspective of the universe, it's gonna get stale really quickly. And then this franchise that's already pretty much on life support probably won't last much longer. But with all that said, thanks for watching. If you like this video, leave a like and become a pyromaniac yourself by subscribing. Until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.